Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the DnD Fam YouTube channel. I know it's been a little bit. I could see the dust and cobwebs forming in this YouTube channel, so I need to do some summer cleaning to really get back to the groove of things. But it's good to see you guys again. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm Bryce, or Spice Low, or other names that you might know me from, like Shadowclaw, or all the NPCs in the hit D&D series, One Punch Man D&D, yeah. Just want to say thank you guys so much for watching the series. The fam and I appreciate you for that. But unfortunately, due to like time conflicts and all that stuff, we haven't been able to upload another video since. And due to all those unfortunate things, you think that it would be a lot easier because they're my family. They live with me. But time conflicts and just their interest in continuing the series have kind of diminished a little bit. So with that, unfortunately, the One Punch Man D&D series is officially canceled for now. For now. That's when you guys will come in. If you guys are interested in wanting to see the series get revived, and who knows, maybe even if you guys are interested in wanting to join this the series, I would love to continue maybe a new group of heroes, maybe a couple years after the events of Shadowclaw, Guinevere, Pack-a-Punch and Snake, post events, still within the time frames of the series, but maybe a couple years after. So if you guys are interested and are intrigued, we'll talk about more about stuff like that later on in this video, if you guys are interested, because there's a lot of things got to work on if we want to make that a possibility. So, but unfortunately, we're not going to be talking about D&D as much in this video, even though I would love to. The one thing that we're going to be talking about in this video is pretty much the main reason of why I love anime to begin with, and it's One Punch Man. One Punch Man was the first anime that I watched, and seeing that first season really, I was so young that even the second season wasn't as bad, because I wasn't a guy that really cared too much about fighting, like the crazy animations and stuff. But you could obviously see that season 1 was ahead of its time. It was crazy. It was insanity. And not just me, but I'm pretty sure all of you guys love the manga, love the anime, love the series. It's a great series. It's just unfortunate that this past season, a lot of negative feedback has been coming in waves, just from complaints about animation quality, complaints about it getting pushed, complaints about workers' quality of how they work, if they're getting treated good or not. It's a serious thing. And I wanted to talk about the title of today's video is pretty much, why did One Punch Man Season 3 fail fan expectations? I guess that's what we'll call it. So I have a little list here of the main things of why One Punch Man the anime didn't really hit so well that Season 3 than that Season 1, or even other anime for that factor. So we'll go through this little list here. I only have about like 4 little itty-bitty notes here, bulletin board notes, to just get a basic understanding of what the process was of just making the Season 3. So it shows right here that Season 3 took 6 to 7 months to make. So Season 3 took about 6 to 7 months to make. And then usually with that time frame, it is usually pushed a lot. It's usually rushed. 6 to 7 months is considered to be rushed. How long do you guys think Season 1 of One Punch Man took to animate? How long do you guys think it took? You guys think it took about 6 months? Maybe a little bit more, maybe 10, maybe a whole year, maybe even past that, maybe 2 years. No. It usually takes for season 1 of One Punch Man, it took around 6. For season 1 of One Punch Man, it took around 6 to 12 months to make. So, just with that right there, those added months, you might not think that that's a big thing, because it's still within those 6 months. So some people might maybe in the back be thinking, oh, it doesn't matter that they still were able to make it. They were still able to put it out. It's still within the 6-month time frame. That's true, but then there's a difference between quality. So you could go to the 6-month timeline of working and putting it out, and then the result's going to be One Punch Man season 3. But if you really care about it and want to put a little bit more effort into it, and really want to make it good, so not just you are happy with it, but fans and people that watch it will be happy about it, then you're gonna put those extra hours in. You're gonna put those extra hours, those extra months in, just to make it that much better. And looking at the scale, what would you guys rather have? Would you guys rather have that season 3 or that season 1? I mean, it's obvious, but it's obvious what the answer is for that. The main thing for this is to not put the entirety of blame onto J.C. Staff. That's my next bulletin board. It's not to only blame J.C. Staff for the wrongdoings. We are going to go into that they're not in the clear. They are in the wrong, but it's complicated. But we can say one thing. I could say one thing is, if anyone is to be blamed for how this anime went, blame Bandai Namco. Don't blame J.C. Staff. These J.C. Staff, these people work real. Animation is already a pain. I don't do animation, but I can just think of just the amount of work that some of these animators have to do, and just imagine how crazy fights are made. How fucking long that takes. That takes so long. Longer than a lot of people would like to think. And that's why I would blame Bandai Namco, because they're pushing J.C. Staff to produce this anime, with a lower budget and extreme tight schedules, But that's what J.C. Staff likes to do, though. That's something that they kind of were a little screwed with, because Bandai Namco sees J.C. Staff as the exact company that they want to animate the anime, because low budget and they can just get it out there quick. It's been about 6 years since we had One Punch Man. Let's get it out there again. It doesn't matter. Just get it out there. They love him. They love Saitama. They love the bald guy. But they don't realize that we don't care about that. We care about, we don't care about those stupid colored characters that just look off in the distance and have inner monologues. We care about other things, So, yeah, it's just a pain with that. Because low budgets, compared to other anime companies that get higher budgets, that get better animations, compared to the extreme, and especially with the extreme, tight schedules, shit, that's just a pain to just work through. I can't even imagine the process of doing that, of going through that entire time just animating. Yeah, I don't think they enjoyed that time. But J.C. Staff, they're not out of the clear yet. They are definitely to blame as well, because that's their philosophy of animating. For J.C. Staff, they would rather push out the anime, and they would rather just push it out and care about how much anime they could push out in a certain amount of years or whatever than the quality. And that's perfectly fine. A lot of animation companies have their own philosophies. That's how it is. There's going to be animation companies that really care about their animations and want it to be absolutely beautiful. Then there's going to be some that don't give a shit about it. And I completely understand that, because at the end of the day, that's a lot of fucking work. you know, a lot of work, a lot of extra shit. So, you know, there's some people that are like, oh, I don't want to work on One Piece. I don't want to work on those crazy fucking flashy fucking fights. I just want to work on a simple classroom with a kid, you know? And I can understand that, but then again, that's kind of dumb to begin with. I feel like Bandai Namco is completely stupid because, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because they didn't want to pay the money and they wanted to keep it low budget, so they chose J.C. Staff. But J.C. Staff, for people that, I mean, I don't know too much about J.C. Staff. From what I experienced from just the research of me looking through their catalog of animes, J.C. Staff isn't really known for their fight scenes as much. I mean, unless some of you guys have examples that you guys could show me, I'd try to look up examples that are like really good examples that could, you know, be like, oh, this is a good anime company that could complement One Punch Man. It doesn't. And you guys could see it. You guys could see season 3, and you guys could see that these fights look stupid, you know? They look goofy as fuck, you know? And it's not J.C. Staff's fault. I mean, it is their fault, but it's not their fault because that's not what they do. You know what I mean? You know, it's like giving Shaq a basketball and telling him to shoot a three-pointer. It's like, brother, I mean, he can probably do it now. He's really good shooting three-pointers now. But like back when he played basketball back then, you know, he's like, brother, I'll just go into the paint and dunk it. That's what I do. You know, that's what J.C. Staff does. J.C. Staff doesn't step back and do three-pointers like Steph Curry. They take it to the rim. You know, they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like Bandai Namco kind of set themselves up with failure by by working with J.C. Staff, because One Punch Man is a dynamic, crazy, fast-paced, crazy lights, fights, blazers, fucking crazy, oh shit, oh fucking, oh shit. You know what I mean? And then when you watch One Punch Man season 3, then you see fucking, and then you see hella choppy ass fucking animations that look goofy as fuck. And I'm just like, are these guys fighting or are they guys playing fucking patty cake? Like, holy shit, man. So, the main thing that I'm really trying to say is Bandai Namco and J.C. Staff worked together and they shat out season 3, you know, and that's just how it is. You know, that's how anime happens. You know, there's always going to be animes that have really good starting points and then they kind of decline. Another anime that I really liked was the Rise of the Shield Hero. I loved it. It's fantastic. Season 1 had like 25 episodes, and that was perfect. You know, it showed him at his lowest points in the beginning to him rising at the end. You know, honestly, you could just finish the damn story after season 1 because of how good it was, you know? And then they have season 2 and then season 3 and it doesn't fucking hit as well. It doesn't hit you as hard as season 1 did. You know what I mean? So, and you know, there's a lot of things that come with that. It's like writing and, you know, animation and all that stuff, you know? It's not just animation that's going to change it, but animation is a very crucial part, especially when you're adapting it from a book that doesn't have any animations. You have to be the one to show us these dynamic animations to make us feel that like we're reading the book. You know what I mean? Like for example, what's a good example? You know, like when Saitama went against Genos that one time. You know, when Genos wanted to really test his abilities against Saitama and see how strong he really is. And he said, just go all out. And then you see that Saitama, you can see that he's about to do his death punch, and he goes in and he fucking, then the smoke just goes right behind. And he's like, all right, we're good. Let's go get some food. And then Genos turns around and it's just this big fucking crater because there was a mountain behind him and the mountain is gone. It was completely gone by him almost punching him in the face. And you could see the feeling of that. You could feel that amount of just craziness from the anime and the book and the manga. But then when you get a scene, like if you take out any scene from season 3 and then go to the manga and read it, shit, I'd rather read the fucking manga because it at least has more dynamic movement than the fucking J.C. Staff with their goddamn and Garo sliding down, you know? It just doesn't hit, you know? There's other scenes that really should have been like those aura moments, like Garo. Like there was a scene where Garo was like supposed to land on some rock and it was supposed to be like this really aura moment, this crazy badass aura moment, and he looked like a fucking goofball. I mean, he didn't look as cool. But then there's a guy, I don't know if it was a kid on the online, that did the exact animations and did it way better and way crispier than J.C. Staff does. Because J.C. Staff doesn't care about fights. They don't care about dynamic shit like that. So, I think... I got a little sweaty, I'm a little heated right now. Because I'm so passionate about One Punch Man. I love it. I hope you guys love One Punch Man too. I hope it does change, but unfortunately it looks like it's probably going to stay like this until they completely finish the series or until the series gets canceled. I'm not even joking. Because it's looking like because what they're doing is they're doing a hiatus, I think. I think they they did about 6 episodes for season 3 of One Punch Man, and then they're going to put the next 6 episodes in 2027 because of all the freaking terrible backlash that they had to do this. It was that bad that they had to do this. It was that bad. It was so bad that they couldn't even put out the full series. They had to stop, and then now they're like, okay, we have to fucking go crazy with this animation shit for the rest of the series. That's what they have to do now, because Bandai and J.C. Staff fucked up so bad that they completely ruined the IP. So now they have to really go in and go crazy now if they want to continue working on the series. I want it to continue, but I don't want it to continue if it's going to look like this. And if it's going to continue, it needs to be picked up by a company that cares about its quality fights, cares about those things. And that's something I want to ask you guys in the comments down below. What anime company would be the best animation company to work to animate One Punch Man? That's what I'm trying to ask. What would be better besides J.C. Staff? Which company could push the boundaries of what animation could be and make it one of the best animes to ever live? That's something that a lot of people don't realize is, you could be put, it's like you could have the greatest ideas and forms and everything, but if you're getting put into a situation where it's not going to be executed good, then it's not going to be good, Imagine if Attack on Titan was animated by J.C. Staff. Do you guys think it would be a memorable anime? Not as much, and it's not because of, I don't hate J.C. Staff. That's one thing. I don't hate J.C. Staff. It's just they would rather do things, simpler. They would rather do, rom-coms where they're just slapstick, nothing crazy and dynamic. While there's other companies like freaking, Madhouse and all those other companies that are about that life, that are like, hey, let's go to the fucking extremes and go crazy on this shit and make it so that people remember this shit. And that's why we love anime, because there's different, it's a teeter-totter, there's different forms, there's different flavors. You can get that really good fighting one, or you can get that funny, goofy rom-com one, or you can get that really creepy one, or you can get that old school 80s, 90s anime that I really like. I love watching those classic animes. So that's the one thing. I don't want you guys to put down J.C. Staff because of them, because that's they don't do this. They're not about this life. And that's Bandai Namco's fucking fault. They put J.C. Staff in a position where they're not going to be successful, you know? It's like putting LeBron James on the Hornets. You think he's going to do shit on the fucking Hornets? Or the Bobcats? Or some fucking team that has absolutely no stock, nothing at all. And you just put a superstar on that team. He's probably going to help them win a little bit, but that's not going to do nothing. You got to build around that. You got to build this team so that when you shit it out, it's a good shit sandwich instead of a shitty shit sandwich. You know what I mean? Yeah, so pretty much if J.C. Staff and Bandai Namco work together, or not even J.C. Staff, because I just feel like J.C. Staff just shouldn't even work on this anime. Maybe if Bandai Namco was able to work with another company that really cared about their fight scenes and dynamics, and all that stuff, then maybe the outcome could have been different. Then it could have been a way better version than maybe even season 1 could have been. Way better. So, I've even seen one, I don't know if it was like Demon Slayer, I don't know what it is, but it was one anime movie or something where it was like 3D. Like, it was insane. I saw this explosion, and I don't think I've seen that shit. That was insane. Like, it was pretty much 3D with 2D characters in it. It's fucking ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, bro, we gotta, this should be in for One Punch Man. That would be perfect. So, yeah, so. Hope you guys are having a good day. I know I am. With all my sweat now. Feels like I'm running a goddamn D&D session. But, in all honesty, I really hope that the series does get picked up by a better animation company in the future. A company that cares about the quality of their animations and intensities of fighting, because J.C. Staff isn't about that life. So I feel like it's just better to keep animes within their ranges, you know what I mean? Like, imagine if Attack on Titan was, it was like J.C. Staff, and it's like rom-com-y, So, pretty much what I'm saying at the end of the day is, I love One Punch Man, and, obviously I want it to be good, but it's looking like the way that this is going to end, it's either going to end with, J.C. Staff just animating the entire anime throughout the the entire story, or they're going to cancel it after season 3's over. Because so much backlash and so much hate, it's really going to depend on it's really going to depend on how they're going to execute the second half of season 3. Because if it's not going to be up to par to fan standards, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter about any standards besides the standards of the fans. And if they're not happy with it, they're going to be pissed, So, I hope that they do put in all the work to make the second half of season 3 badass. I really hope they do. I really hope J.C. Staff could change my mind, because I'm pretty sure they're capable of doing it. They just need time. That's all the anime companies need. They just need fucking time. Give them time, and let's see if they can cook. It's not going to be as good as Madhouse, or like other companies, obviously, because they're about that life. But J.C. Staff is capable of doing some things, right? So, they're not completely, bound to lose. They just give them some time, and maybe we could see something happen. But, that's how I'm looking at it. Bandai Namco's just kind of like, all right, now we're going to give you some time. Now you're going to have to go hard and make this shit really good. So, we're going to see if they're able to execute it, or flop. So, yeah. If anything, as of now, I recommend you guys read the mangas, because the manga is a lot more detailed, a lot more beautifully drawn, and you don't have to worry about stupid monologues and all that stupid shit. I mean, you could read the monologues, but you don't have to worry about the pacing, because the book, you just read it, You're not wasting time watching an episode of guys talking in different colored silhouettes for like 20 minutes, I'm done with that shit. So, hope you guys enjoyed my little rant of One Punch Man, because I love it. You know, it's a great IP. It's a great idea. It's just when it's not given the time of day, you could see that, you know, you could see that there are certain animes that have gems that are special gems, but they need to be brought up to the light to be really shown to the world. And when One Punch Man had that light, you know, then it was like, oh, let's regress. Let's go down to make it not as good and cheaper and cheaper. Oh, see, after season 2, oh, and then let's take a break after 6 years. Oh, let's do it again. Oh, now it's even more shit. Oh, now we're on the brink of canceling the show or having to make season 3, the second half of season 3, really fucking good. So we'll see what it goes, but we'll see how it goes. But now that this video is pretty much over with talking about One Punch Man, we can now talk about One Punch Man D&D. Just a little refresher of everything. You know, because of time conflicts and everything, the One Punch Man D&D series is unfortunately not going to be able to continue. But you know, I'm still interested in doing D&D, and would like to continue doing it in the future. And that's why I would like to ask you guys if you guys are interested in doing it. Because the main thing we really need is players that are invested in wanting to play D&D. So if you guys are interested in wanting to play One Punch Man D&D, we could work something out. So if you guys are interested in wanting to play One Punch Man D&D, just comment down below that you guys are interested, and I'll email you. I'll maybe message you guys and talk to you guys. Maybe we'll exchange emails or something, or Discords, and then we can go from there to see what your guys' time schedules are and what we can work with. Because, you know, for me, if I'm gonna do a D&D series, I like doing a D&D series, a full-length story. You know, I don't know if you guys ever watched YouTubers like Rustage or anything like that. That's a guy that I kind of like to take inspiration from when it comes to D&D, because he does one. Because first time I watched him, he did the One Punch Man the One Piece D&D series, and you know, he's a fantastic DM, and I want to try to follow in his footsteps to make it, you know, an engaging YouTube, an engaging series, but also funny and serious at times. So yeah, so if you guys are interested, please just comment down below. Let me know if you guys are interested. And I hope you guys, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah. Well, appreciate you guys hearing my little rant and banter. Appreciate you guys. I hope to see you guys again in the future. I'll make sure to be uploading a couple more videos in the future. But until then, I will see you guys in the future. Hope you guys have a good rest of your summer, and I'll be catching you guys later.